And goes on just the way you do your adults, just in the nares and around the ears. And then usually the nurses will put some type of, you know, Duoderm, something like that, that doesn't irritate the cheeks. And then they just secure it down, one on this side and one on this side. And that's it. And then next on to our flow meter. And getting started. So just practice that. Getting it on there and see the differences between adults and newborn. Then, that's just our regular nasal cannula. Let's move back here and talk about our high. And so this high flow system, really all it is inside of here is a blender that takes our air and our oxygen and blends it. So you can't see it, but really inside of here is a blender. And then this part is a humidifier. And we've got water running through this humidification system here. And then the vapor just travels through here. And at this end, you would attach on your nasal cannula for the baby. So that's it. It's a high flow system because it will give a precise FiO2 because it is blending the precise amounts. And I don't know if you guys realize that somebody said this before, but when you, in your total flow calculations, if you memorize some of those air to oxygen ratios, you won't have to do that calculation all the time. So that sheet I gave you last time when we were together, if you look at a little box in the corner and it has like 40%, it's 3-to-1 for the air oxygen ratio, or 60%, it's 1-to-1. So if you just memorize some of them, not all, but some, you can get through it faster. If you can't remember, that's when you go to your magic box to figure out what portion of it is air. Because we know oxygen's always one. It's always the one part. So anyway, so this is what this high flow system does for us. It gives us that air oxygen specific precise FiO2, gives us that moisture that we were talking about, the body temperature and saturated. So it really it allows us to go up on those higher flows, keep going higher, higher, because it's going to match the humidification. In the past, they didn't have anything that would keep up if we went higher and higher in the flows to keep up with the humidification. So with these systems, you go higher and higher, and it keeps up, keeps it warm, keeps that body humidity. So very, very, very helpful. So you've got to go ahead and get your high pressure tubing all untangled. Here's our oxygen. And so it has a standby mode. So when you see this amber color, that's the standby mode. So here are our 3 settings. This is our flow rate here. Here's our FiO2. And here's our temperature. So we'll just want to go ahead and set that to our patient population. We're talking about neonates today. So actually this device doesn't go below 5. So probably 5 would be our lowest for that patient population. And you just enter it by pushing the button. So now we're at the FiO2, so we can increase that and then set it and move on to the next one. Set our temperature, move on. That's fine. Nothing here. This is not real oxygen, you guys know that, so we just keep this setting at 21. And then we have the settings that we want, and then we go ahead and put it into the functional mode. A beep, and then this will turn green. The flow starts to come through. You'll hear it kind of, so the flow starts to come through. Turns to green. And then we connect on our device to this end. And we're set to go. So that's our high flow system. This one's called the Vapotherm. They have different ones. So this brand is Vapotherm. They have many other ones. But they're nice because it incorporates everything we would have to put together ourselves. We could make this ourselves. We could go and get a humidifier. We could go and get a blender and then, make our high flow system. But it's everything all in one. So it's very nice for that. So like we talked about in class today, with this set flow of 5 for our neonate, we probably are getting some form of positive airway pressure in there that'll cause a little bit of CPAP for them. They don't know how much, but just that flow itself would generate a little bit. So that's probably, that much is probably helpful for a tiny baby. And we're not going to put our FiO2 up too high for them. We try to keep it below 40. And then our temperatures, we want body temperature, so we're going to watch that, and our range will be, 36. Just kind of adjust for the babies. That'll be something you kind of have to look up for in the book. Had a question in the first group. They were like, well, why is there so much of a range that you can set on the FiO2? And Emma remembered that if you do something non-invasively, that you don't need as high of a temperature because we have our normal humidification and heating system. But if we have a trach, then we need that warm, more so if the upper airways been bypassed. Oh, this has an alarm where you can silence things.
What's the highest liter flow?
I think this goes up to, I think it was 40, I think it was, on here, just 40. This is giving me an alert about
The oxygen,
temperature.
yeah.
Thank you, oxygen.